Good day, YouTube. My name is Darren, and my amateur radio call sign is N4VFR. In this video today, it's been a while since I made a video on my antenna project, specifically the tower. So what we have here is the Rohn 25 tower section that I bought used. It looks like it's been painted before. So what I'm going to basically do is I want to show you my preparation to get this tower cleaned and painted, and also I'm going to show you my rotor. It's a Yaesu 2800 rotator that I've already took it apart, and I re-greased the bearings and cleaned up the internal parts. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a just paint the exterior of the rotator to give it a more pleasant look once I have the tower standing. Cool, here we got the Yaesu G2800. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some sandpaper, just re-scuff it up, and also the clamp. Just take some sandpaper here and just rough it up so it can adhere, the paint can adhere to it. And over here, this is, oh, my coffee, this is what I wanted. All right, this is the Rust-Oleum aluminum color. It's in high performance protective enamel. So this is an enamel paint, oil based, for the rotor. I'm not going to use this paint, but I'm going to use a spray paint. This is a Rust-Oleum bright coat. It's an aluminum color. And we have Comet. A reason I use Comet is more like an abrasive scratch. It's a scratch free, but I want to make it into like a sandpaper to kind of scuff up the tower when I'm cleaning it. I got some protective equipment. I'm going to use the blue ones for cleaning the tower, and then the black ones I'll use it for painting. Some Scotch-Brite here, ultra fine. This is a hand pad Scotch-Brite. Again, using it as an abrasion to give me a nice fine finish so paint can adhere to the tower. This is what it looks like now. I did the sanding, scuffed it up because it was glossy, so I scuffed it up so the paint can adhere. And it's currently drying. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put all the bolts in, and for example here I'm going to cover this connector port with some blue masking, painter's tape, and I want to put some of the older bolts in here so paint doesn't go on the inside where they screw in, and also in the bottom portion. Check it out. I'm using a pineapple box. You get it from the flea market. And I've already put some light mist. I'm watching the wind direction too. Yeah, the winds are coming from behind me. Okay, working on the clamp now, and the bottom side of the rotor. Okay, here comes the fun part. This is a Rohn 25 tower. I already have my bucket of water and some Comet. Back in the day we used to call it Ajax. I'm not sure if Ajax is around. So what I want to do is just scuff it up, clean it up like this. I mean, I'm not going to take it down to the bare middle. It's just basically scuff it up. While I'm doing this, it's cleaning it. Yeah, the water's turning black. And I think this was painted too. So these towers last a lifetime. I'm just going to work on each leg. Work this leg, and then the bottom leg. Then I hit the cross section. So I'm doing this process because it makes me feel good that kind of like preserving or at least cleaning it, taking out the grease if there was any grease. I'm not sure if I really need to do this, but I just feel better doing it like this. You're not going to get it totally, you know, down to the bare metal. Like here's some rust here. There's corrosion already going on. But I bought this used, so making the best of it. Trying to make it last as long as I can. So this is tower section number 2. I labeled it so I can put it together easily. And I got 2 more sections to do. That'll be like 30 feet. It's cool having this hook. Yeah, so 30 feet. You know, I have a Hazer. It's actually a Tower Tram. And that's what I'll be using. So on the Rohn 25 with a winch, electrical winch, probably I'll do an electrical winch. I can raise and lower my antennas. So let me move this aside. This is done and I got 2 more to do. So I'm going to do the same process. I am done for today. This is 30 feet of Rohn 25 and I got the rotor and clamp already drying. So here it is. It looks really good. Silver color, aluminum. Good morning, day 2 of this antenna painting process. So when I picked up the tower, I forgot I got some of these extra mast posts. So this is what I'm going to use to put in the rotator and to tie on the step IR onto this. So let me remove this. I'm going to just refurbish this, just clean it up, and then I'm going to start painting. Not this. I'm going to start painting the tower. So look at this. This is an oil base. I had this stirred, shaken yesterday or 2 days ago, but it's always best to stir it again. As you saw that the mixture was on the top, it needed to be remixed. So there's some clumps in the bottom. Now I gotta make sure we loosen that up. See the clumps? So let me stir this for a few minutes here. And what I'm going to do is when I paint this, I'm going to use my glove actually. I'm going to use this latex glove and just rub the paint onto the tower. I have the 3 sections painted already. I'm just letting it dry overnight. And here's the other 2 leaning up against the house. This section here, this will be the one that's going to be in the ground, maybe about 4 feet down. And the top portion here, I'm going to have it stick out, and then that's where I'm going to be attaching my tower from there. And on the top section, I have this here. And that's it. I'm just going to let everything dry overnight and test fit the tower, make sure they all go into place, and then label them so they go in sequence, like 1, 2, and 3. So this is my brand new Hazer. It's called the Tower Tram. I bought this. I thought this was going to be turn a lot smoother. There's bearings in here, but it's okay. It'll do the job. I got a strong rotator. This Hazer, it's meant for the high gain rotors. So I'm going to have to do some modifications to this in order to line up, right? So let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, so this is the Tower Tram. You see how those holes are quite small compared to the Rohn 25 thrust bearings. See it there? And when I line it up straight down that hole, I gotta make sure that these holes here, I'm gonna have to re-drill some new holes and line it up like this so I can still have a bite onto this metal on both sides. There's gonna be a gap here, but I think that's quite okay as long as I give some pressures on these bolts here. Okay, another thing is the alignment of my rotor. Again, those bolt patterns are for a high gain, which I don't have. Here's my new repainted 2800. So that's the Yaesu 2800. Okay, so if I were to, okay, it's got a lot of weight. I'm gonna have to put some weight here so to hold this down. All right, and now I got some weight on the Tower Tram. This video is brought to you by Fabric Softener. All right, so okay, so I want to look down this hole, and I want to put my mast pipe. It's right here. Now this is when I wish I had a helper with me. I'm basically trying to find the straightest path for this mast pipe without any bindings, and to allow that a new bolt pattern for the Yaesu rotor and a new bolt pattern for the thrust bearing. Alright, so this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the centering of this mast pipe in the center of this plate, the top plate, like this. And I'm looking at these holes here, and it's getting kind of close to the edge on both of them, so I'm going to have to put the pipe closer in this direction, so I at least have some bite. When I say bite, I have area on this plate right here below this thrust bearing, so this could pivot. You know, this is adjustable too. These bolts to center it, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to center it a little bit, just finger tight, so it's equal distance throughout the pipe. So what I'm going to have to do is touch the end and then back it maybe 2/3/16 of an inch. So while this is centered, I gotta make sure too that the bolt patterns here, I'm gonna have to create new pattern, a new bolt. So I'm gonna have to, I don't want this thing to be cocked. So what I might have to do is level this tram to level, and then find the center of this bolt or this rotator, and then level here this mast. I just got pelted from a bird. It's not a bird dropping, something hit me in the pants. This little pebble made my tram balanced. Level. That's what I meant to say. Level. Alright, so let me use this template that I made and center my rotor, and then install the thrust bearing and mark the places where I need to drill my holes, both the thrust bearing and also the rotor plate. Okay, I got the cable attached to the rotor or rotator controller, and what I'm going to do is basically test for binding if I have this centered, this pole centered, and if there's any binding that I see. If I don't see any, then these are just finger tight, all these bolts, and I have it centered here, centered up here. So I'm going to look for any binding once I start turning the rotor. I'm running into the house, and rotator should be turning. All right, I'm back outside. It's turning. Looking at the level right there, it's centered. Now I'm going to focus in this area, looking for any warpage of the pipe. Let me turn the rotator. I'm looking back in this corner here, back here. Okay, sorry this video is off on a tangent. We're now talking about the Hazer and setting up the rotor, the thrust bearing, and so forth. So there it is. That's the controller. It's the Yaesu 2800. So I got it all connected inside. It's already nighttime outside, and I got it all squared up. Holes are bolted down. I mean, the bolts are attached to the rotor, and also the bolts are attached to the thrust bearing. You know, there is a gap, a slight gap right there, but I think that'll be fine. That's pretty stout, this plate there. So let's take a look. I'm going to turn the rotator. Here we go. We're going to try to go super fast. Pretty centered. No rubbing. And you see the gap there? You can go on this side. That's good. No rubbing. That's what I like. Alright, this is it. This is the Rohn 25g. That's my top section here. I have it color coded, green to green. And there's red to red right there. Yellow to yellow. And blue to blue. And this is the base section here. I got it labeled, marked off 4 feet. I'm going to put 4 feet in the earth, in the ground. And we're approximately 34 feet in length. Alright guys, one step closer. I got the tower refurbished and I got the Hazer rotors mounted. I also put some anti-seize on the bolts, so in the event if I need to take it apart, it'd be a lot easier to take it apart. And also I've test fitted the tower, make sure the bolts all fitted. There was one stubborn hole where I couldn't get the bolt through. I had to shake it and finally got it through. Sometimes I use that rubber mallet to pound it through. I managed to get it working to screw them all in. So it's just finger tight now. And what I want to do next, tomorrow, I'm going to go and get the building permit to get that tower paperwork submitted to the city, and I have to get it all notarized. So guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please consider to subscribe, leave me a like and a comment, watch me progress in building this tower. As you see over here on the right hand side, there is my stepper IR, and my tennis shoes is drying in the sun. My name is Darren, and my amateur radio call sign is N4VFR. Until next video, have a great day.